Gaming Video Game Show, the only video game show that plays the Nintendo Wii without its necessary condom for protection. I'm your host, William Morris.
I'm Eugene Morris.
And I'm Clayton Arnold.
Well, in the comments of our top 10 PSP games ever made, we got some requests from the fans to do a top 10 list of what we thought were the best Nintendo Wii games. Well, who are we to deny our lovely fans' requests?
By the way, what's the next episode of Project Crosshair coming out?
Shut up! Now let's make it perfectly clear. We would love to share our opinions on what we thought the best Nintendo Wii games ever made were. Anybody got anything?
Shoot, I knew we forgot something. Damn it! Let me check the bottom of this barrel real quick.
Well, I guess the video's over. Night, everybody.
That's all, folks.
All joking aside, the Nintendo Wii actually does have a really good lineup when it comes to popular games and franchises. And of course, like last time, we struggled to pick which ones we thought were the best. But over time, we managed to throw one together for you. So, without any more delaying, we will show you our top 10 Nintendo Wii games.
In our opinion.
And at number 10, we have Wii Sports.
While not the most exciting entry on this list, we have to give credit where credit is due. This was kind of a perfect launch title for the system. Hell, it came packaged with it. This game introduced newcomers to the motion controls as well as many black eyes because they were swinging them around and broken TVs because they were not wearing the damn strap. Wii Sports opened the gates for many casual gamers. Now, hardcore gamers may not have been happy with Nintendo focusing so much on that aspect, but from a business sense, it was a smart move. And the sports that were featured on this disc were done pretty well, from golfing to boxing and everything in between. The games were pretty addicting and could get surprisingly competitive. With this success that this brought to the Wii, it does deserve a spot on the list.
At number 9, Godzilla Unleashed. Okay, we admit it, we have been on a bit of a Godzilla kick lately, but Unleashed for the Wii was still a very fun game. Of the different versions that were made, the Wii had the best version, with the most monsters and better graphics. With the majority of Toho's legendary monsters at your control, you can destroy cities all over the world while unleashing, no pun intended, a vast array of monster powers on your opponents. One thing that the Wii excelled at was party games, and this one was a good one to have when you had friends over. Personally, with Godzilla back in the limelight, we hope that maybe an Unleashed 2 will be made for the Wii U. Hey, we can dream, can't we? In the meantime, we will continue kicking kaiju ass here on the Wii.
Number 8, Sonic Colors.
Good night, everybody.
This was the one that got the blue hedgehog pointed in the right direction. With many flops before it, one of them actually managed to have an element that was worth exploring. Sonic Unleashed first introduced the idea through daytime stages while surrounded by the gimmick of the werehog. The fans thought that a game made up entirely of daytime stages was in order, and Sega surprisingly agreed and delivered on the fans' whims. Sonic Colors took Sonic back to what he did best, simply running as fast as you can with nothing in your way. Add some great level design with a reasonable, challenging system, and you have one of the greatest Sonic games that we have seen in a long time, and it was only the beginning.
At number 7, Tatsunoko vs. Capcom. To us, this is one of the last good games that Capcom made before everything went to shit. At first, it was a Japan exclusive, and we figured it was going to stay that way due to licensing issues. But the fans wanted it, and Capcom would find a way to bring it stateside. Shame that Capcom didn't do more of that. But anyway, this game reminded people of the retro joy they felt when playing the older Capcom vs. games. This game explodes off the screen with seizure-inducing colors and spectacles, featuring characters not only from Capcom, but from legendary anime shop Tatsunoko, such as Cashern, Yatterman, and Science Ninja Team Gatchaman. TVC also possessed a comfortable and easy-to-learn fighting system that made it addictive and relatively easy to pick up and play. Oh, and hey, Mega Man Volnut is also in this game too. Yeah, we're still not bitter about that at all. Mind-numbing rage aside, this was a really enjoyable fighter that was missing only one thing: the Samurai Pizza Cats.
5 Teenage Champions.
Here at number 6 we have Muramasa, the Demon Blade.
One of the more visually beautiful games on the Wii, Muramasa was a side-scrolling adventure that placed you in the Genroku era of Japan. Playing as 2 different characters, you had an arsenal of swords that you can use to hack and slash your way through a colorful group of adversaries of all shapes and sizes. And if you wanted a challenge, oh boy, you got it here. Cause this game served up piping hot ass whoopings on a vibrant platter. But the true strength of this action role player was its impressive graphics that were captivating and awe-inspiring. And it featured a cast and story that was creative to say the least. This game sure did showcase what the little white system could do.
Number 5, The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. Hey, don't dislike this video!
Opinions are definitely mixed on this one. Not exactly sure why. I mean, well, we have our own little coy with it too. But The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword once again offers a new gameplay experience in the Zelda franchise that hadn't been seen before. With the inclusion of the Wii Motion Plus control, Link could now mimic your actual movement with his sword, allowing you to greatly engage into battle a lot better than before. At least that's how we saw it. Actually, controlling where and how he would attack was a feature I wanted in a game for years. And for it to be a Zelda game was an icing on the cake. Who the hell says you can't have your cake and eat it too? The game is a little too long in our opinion, and puzzles can get downright brutal at times. But it also had an expansive world to accommodate. It's all of these features that have fans differ on whether they like this game or not, which is why the opinions literally are mixed. It's not a bad game by any means, it just offered a playstyle that not everybody was comfortable with. It's still one of the greatest out there and definitely worth being in your library. You definitely got your money's worth. Now before anybody says anything, Twilight Princess was also a great Zelda game, but we would put that in our top 10 GameCube games list. Maybe that's the next on the list.
And at number 4 we have the bloody massacre known as Mad World.
Who would have guessed that the family-centric Nintendo Wii would showcase one of the most bloody, brutal, sadistic, over-the-top, smash-mouth face, stomping, spine-breaking, decapitating brawlers of all time? And we loved every second of it. Taking control of certified ass-kicker Jack Kamen, you are placed in an insane city as you motor through a crazy chaos of deranged henchmen. Using the motion controls, you will eviscerate these hordes with some wild attacks. The look of this game is just something else entirely. Using a minimalistic approach, the game is quite eye-popping. Not only that, but the game provides its own commentary with a pair of crude and foul-mouthed play-by-play analysts that are a hoot to listen to. The game's wicked sense of humor gives this game a lightheartedness that makes the bloody rampage easier to swallow. This is absolutely one for the adults.
Coming in at number 3 on our list, it should be number 1, but I was overruled. Super Mario Galaxy 2. Now everyone knew that eventually the Blue Plumber was going to make it on this list. And of all the Mario games on the Wii, this in our eyes was the best one. Mario is a touchy subject. While he still has his fans, nowadays there are just as many detractors. Many would even prefer for him to go away for a long time or never come back at all. The biggest complaint is that there is no more originality in the series anymore, that they're all just cash-grabbing clones of each other. But with the Galaxy series, originality was on display. Galaxy 2 gave the old formula a pretty cool twist, flying through the air with the greatest of ease. This game sent Mario to space and beyond, and it was a welcome ride that proved that when Nintendo wanted to, they can give us a Mario experience that is memorable, and that it can teach an old dog some new tricks.
at number 2, we have Super Smash Bros. Brawl.
Need we a reason whatsoever to explain the praise that Super Smash Bros. Has earned over the years? While it's a simple, unbalanced party game, thousands of gamers around the world took it far more seriously than most other fighting games. With the faces of Nintendo and other surprising guests, 4 players can beat each other down to the point that friendships have been ruined. It's amazing how Mario Party games, be it fighting, kart racing, or even parties themselves, hold the record for most separation and disbandment of long-term friendships. Regardless, Super Smash Bros. Brawl is as addicting as it is engaging. The fan service, the items, the characters, the gameplay, you always keep coming back to it. There's no rhyme or reason for it to be as successful as it is. It just is. And I guess that's all that matters.
And our number 1 game for the Nintendo Wii is Ju-On the Grudge. That's a good one, Will. That's a good one. Oh yeah, that was like no way that game is actually worth anything. No, the real number 1 spot for the best Nintendo Wii game ever made is Knight's Journey of Dreams.
What?
I'm sure a lot of you out there are very surprised by this decision. Well, don't be. Knight's Journey of Dreams definitely offered something most games today really don't, and it's quite difficult to explain. Knight's already had a pretty massive following ever since his debut in 1996 on the Sega Saturn, dubbed Knight's Into Dreams. Since then, fans remained optimistic for a sequel, and 11 years later it finally happened. What does Knight's offer exactly? Well, for those who don't know, Knight's is very different from the status quo type of games we expect today. Created solely by Sega and Sonic Team, Knight's stands next to Sonic when it comes to the faces of the company. Knight's was all about flying in a dream world. The plot's usually centered around a character having personal trouble in life, from confidence issues to other potentially serious problems to deal with, which could have led to anxiety, stress, and sadness. Once they fell asleep, it's shown a shred of courage remains intact with them, showing their subconscious a way to Knightopia, which is a world of dreams created by their inner desires. It's inhabited by little creatures of the dream world such as Knightopians, and other amazing characters as well. Then enter Knights, a carefree being who dreams of nothing other than to fly and be merry, as well as share the experience with the visitor from the outside world. With the help of Knights, the visitor goes through a self-discovery while treading through memory lane. The series goes an extremely long way with subtlety and is actually quite deep at the messages it brings to the youths. They do have problems, they do have fears, and it's quite a lot of fun to go deeper into the rabbit hole to see how or if they will overcome it. Of course, there are some problems on the side too. An evil deity known as Wiseman is the creator of everything nightmare, and after consuming the emotions from visitors, he hopes to leave the dream world and enter reality. Sort of a different take on Freddy Krueger. The gameplay, as well as all of the other features, are very serene. It's a game that's not really bent on being violent, although it does have some heavy conflicts. I could go on for hours about the details of the series as a whole, and probably would consider a review in the future. But for now, this will do. Knight's Journey of Dreams. If you haven't tried it, well, we can promise it will at the very least be an experience.
So, all of you fans, followers, viewers, and haters out there, that was our top 10 Nintendo Wii games ever made in our own opinion. If you disagree, or if you thought that you had games that should have been on this list that weren't, well, don't feel bad, because this was only our list. This wasn't the end-all be-all of video game lists ever made, period. So, take it as you will. If you thought games were better than the ones that we thought, that's great. Keep playing them, because that's what they're there for. Meanwhile, you've been watching the Brotherhood of Gaming Video Games show. Be sure to subscribe, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Google+, and we'll be sure to interact with you in the comment section below. Until next time, keep on gaming, friends.